Today, we are going to shop the Sephora sale with an unlimited budget. Yes, I said an unlimited budget. By that, I really mean we are going to browse the Sephora website together and add to our cart all of our favorite products that we already own from Sephora to then do a full face of makeup. If you just so happen to be new to my content, my goal on this channel is to remind you of products you already own and love before you shop and buy something new. This video is actually a part of my makeup refresh series where I put together an autumn mood board to re-inspire me. I then went ahead and shopped my stash for products I already owned and love to then recreate some of my favorite Pinterest looks. If you haven't seen the previous videos, I will link the playlist down below. I highly recommend you check it out, especially if you want to shop more intentionally this holiday season. I have on my lips right now the Idem, the new Pan au Chocolat flavor. It's caramelized brown with a shimmery pink. I absolutely love this lip balm. Out of all the lip balms that have released, this is by far my favorite, especially this one in particular. It smells so good, and I like the shade on the lips, which is like a shimmery brown gloss color. It is so hydrating, and I love the metal tip applicator. Nothing has beat this lip balm. We have the Summer Fridays, don't really care for that one. I do think that one is overhyped, but I can see why some people like it in terms of a skincare lip balm product. Laneige, I like it, but again, compared to the Idem, it's not as nourishing. It's good, but it's not as thick and luscious. I do really want the Gisou Honey Infused Hydrating Lip Oil in one of the brown shades. I don't have a reason to buy it, but that is something I want. Other than that, I don't really see anything interesting. So we're just gonna add the Idem to the cart because that's my favorite one in my collection and I would highly recommend it. Moving on, I do want a primer to prep my skin. So let's go into the primer category. I don't have the Refi, I have the Milk Makeup, but I don't really need long-lasting makeup right now. I want something that's a little bit more blurring. The Say is considered a primer. I don't have the Huda Beauty, don't have the One Size. I really don't have a lot of these actually, that's funny. Okay, ooh, perfect. I do have the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer, which is one of my #1 favorite primers. I think I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna add it to my cart right now. She is pricey, I'm just warning you. So if you do ever buy this product, buy it during a sale because even though I think it's totally worth it and I have used up a whole bottle before, it's really freaking expensive. They do have a bigger size though. Ooh, that's $75, but it's bigger size. That's good to know. Oh, I love the Danessa Myricks Mattifying Water Powder Serum. If you have oily skin or combo skin and you don't want something too drying or tightening and something that's very lightweight on the skin to help mattify your foundation a little bit more, this primer is really great. But if you have extremely oily skin, I think the One Size Oil Sucker Mattifying Primer is the best. It's just a little finicky to work with, so I would only recommend it if you have extreme oily skin and only in your T-zones. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply on the Hourglass primer. I know you've probably heard me talk about this one too many times, but it just is, it feels like a typical silicone primer, except it's more wet and hydrating on the skin. And in some aspects, you might not notice a difference, but I swear, I went a long time without using this because I was trying other primers, and then I went back to it and realized I don't think my foundation looked the same. My foundation now looks so good with this primer. We have our lip prep and our skin prep. Let's go on to eyes before we do any foundation. We're gonna let everything kind of sit on the skin. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like eyeshadows at Sephora that much because they're all bland and boring, but let's see what we've got here. The Makeup by Mari Ethereal Eyes, the Nature Palette. I could use the OG Ethereal Eyes, but I don't feel like that today. I kind of want to do something fun. I have recently bought the Tower 28 Cooling Shimmer Eyeshadow Stick, and I will let you know that I don't like it. I don't like it. I bought it for review and that is coming up eventually. There's a lot of products in the lineup right now, but I don't like it. There's a lot of glitter fallout. I might have chosen the wrong shade. I don't really know. I just know the performance of the shade that I picked out is not good. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute. What was that? What was that? I swear I thought I saw a Merit cream shadow somewhere. Wait. They do. That's new. You gotta be careful when you do this because you might actually find something you want to buy. Okay, so I think Merit is coming out with metallic versions of their cream shadow. I do love their cream shadow and I'm happy they're coming out with more colors. So this is gonna be added to my wish list. I'm not logged into my account right now because I don't want to like have all my personal stuff show up, but note to self, this is exciting. My favorite Merit cream shadow is Mid-Century though. I use this as like my one and done everyday shade. Anyways, moving on, let's go to eye palettes because we need to choose something. Okay. I don't have the new Danessa Myricks Lightwork. This is going to be on my wish list. I potentially want to review this, so let me know how badly or not badly you want me to talk about this because I'm kind of going back and forth on whether or not I want to review it, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to be using last year's Lightworks palette because this is like the only fun thing from Sephora that I own in terms of eyeshadow. There's nothing wrong with boring eyeshadow and that's what sells at Sephora, but I want to have fun today, so we're going to skip the rest and play with this palette. I believe I'm going to try to use the blues because I use the pink and the green a lot, but I haven't used the blues and the teals in a long time. So last year's Lightwork palette is not available at Sephora anymore. I'm just gonna add this one because it's the same price technically. Let's actually go into concealer because I'm gonna end up using concealer as eyeshadow primer. What I've been loving lately as a base is none of these, even though I've tried actually most of these concealers. I have, you know what, let's do this right now because we're in the concealer section. I'm going to add the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer as my spot concealing option today. I'm a crazy person and I use like 3 or 4 concealers when I do my makeup. It's unnecessary, but it's also the way that I get use out of my concealers because I have so many. My favorite under eye concealer right now is the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer. Now, I bought it when it was on extreme sale because I thought it would be a good product to buy and have knowledge for when the Sephora sale comes out, but they freaking reformulated it, so I have no idea if it's the same. I am gonna add this to my cart though because I really love this concealer. If you want me to do a review and comparison between the old and the new, let me know because I do really love this. It's totally worth the hype. Now let's go with my third concealer, which is what we're here for, an eyeshadow base. That's gonna be the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. I think I have shade 8. I didn't pick the right shade for all of these. I'm just adding these to my cart and then we're gonna see how much it costs to do a full face. I bought a lot of these products from the last Sephora sale, so I do think it's a good opportunity to reflect on my purchases and also share with you my thoughts and opinions. These are the products that I would also recommend if you are interested in certain categories of makeup, specifically the Danessa Myricks concealer. This is probably the most matte concealer that I own, but it's also very lightweight and medium to full coverage. I love it as an eyeshadow base. I think it makes all of my eyeshadows perform better because it has more of that matte kind of cream to powder texture once it sets. Now for this look, I am going to do my typical style of eye makeup, which always starts with some sort of colored eyeliner. So let's see what Sephora has for eyeliner. I'm hoping the ones that I want are available on the website. I have Urban Decay, so we're going to do that. This is $23. The shade that I pulled up is Chaos by Urban Decay, which is this kind of lighter cobalt blue. And then I need a black eyeliner to tightline my eyes because a look is not finished without a black tightline. We're gonna add that to our cart. And then the last liner that I may or may not use, I'm not sure, is from Bare Minerals. Out of all brands I know, I got this liner gifted to me in PR. I would have never bought it myself. Well, it's not available on Sephora. I didn't even realize Sephora has a very small selection of Bare Minerals. I swear they had more products. I guess not. So technically, it doesn't really fit within this challenge right now, but I might use it still. And just out of curiosity, I do want to get ahead and see how much everything I added to my cart costs right now. I'm scared. Oh my gosh. We haven't even gotten to the full face of makeup yet. Wow, that's insane. Luckily, we already have these and we don't have to buy it. So I don't have too much of a plan for this look. I just know I want it to be blue, and I usually just start with a colored liner. So I just am gonna line it with a slight straight wing. Maybe, potentially, I'm gonna avoid the middle. I may or may not add the liner back there just to open up my eyes a bit, add some on the inner corner and then also on the bottom lash line. Now that that's done, I'm going to use this kind of duochrome shade. It shifts from cobalt blue to turquoise depending on the light. Use my finger and apply it all over the lid. That is so pretty. I have to say though, it was kind of worth it for me, specifically this palette in particular, because I bought it knowing a lot of the shades were going to be topper shades, but it can also create its own look, especially if you do wear color and you're comfortable with color. The palette is $128 and you get a discount 20% off if you are rouge. I think to give it even more impact, I'm going to use this middle turquoise shade and apply it all over the lid in the middle. Oh, yes. That makes it even better. Holy moly. Every time I use this palette, I'm just really impressed and happy with it. I am going to cheat slightly because I want a lighter blue on the inner corner, but this palette doesn't have that pop of baby blue, so I'm going to dip into this Icy Glam Light palette and just pop it on the inner corner. So the eyes are almost done. I am really happy with it, but now we're going to move on to complexion and the base makeup. I already chose one concealer for the under eye. Oh, and I chose the Hourglass concealer. So our concealers are done. So let's go to the foundation section and see what I'm in the mood for. Not the House Labs foundation. I have this foundation in the shade 280, and I've tried so many shades, so many samples of the House Labs foundation. It just doesn't match me well enough. 280 is the right undertone, but it's not the right depth. I've tried the other shades after that and it's like too dark or too peachy, so it's something that I do have to mix. And on top of that, the formula is good. I like it, I enjoy it, but it's not my favorite, so we're not using that today. Estee Lauder, I love this foundation, but it's too heavy, and I have other foundations that are more lightweight on the skin with the same coverage. For example, Tear, but Tear is not available at Sephora. I guess we're not going to use Tear, which is like kind of my go-to. The IT Cosmetics foundation I really like. I still enjoy it, so that's a contender. You know, the Sephora Collection foundation, also another contender. I don't like the Dior Face and Body. The scent on this bothers the heck out of me, and the shade match isn't great. It's also very wet. It's probably user error because so many makeup artists use these foundations and I'm not like the biggest fan of it. But the Sephora Collection, I think, is the one that I'm going to use. I'm not gonna lie, as I'm like scrolling through these foundations, I realized I'm not a huge fan of Sephora foundations. My tippy top favorite foundations are Chanel, which you can't get at Sephora, but you can get it at Ulta. Tear, the cushion and the liquid form. You can get the cushion at Ulta, but you can't get it at Sephora. I also really love a lot of drugstore foundations, and that's really all, which I think is pretty interesting. But the one Sephora foundation I do like is the Sephora Collection Best Skin Ever. They updated this. The shade range is different, so I don't know what shade I am in the new one. Again, if you want me to do a comparison between the old and the new, let me know. It retails for $22, which I don't think is awful. The shade I have is 33N, but I think I might be, I don't know, 25.0 in this. Doesn't really matter because I'm not actually buying it right now. Let's use this one and pretend it's the new one. Part of why I love this foundation is the shade match, because it's truly a neutral color. It's not too orange, not too yellow, not too peach. I don't think it oxidizes. It also gives pretty medium to full coverage, and it feels like I'm applying lotion on my face, not a foundation. Then I'm gonna spot conceal with the Hourglass foundation, concealer. This concealer is really good. I'm trying to use it up. I don't know if I'll repurchase it. I have to kind of move on to my other concealers before I decide I want to go back to this. I don't like it under the eyes. It can be very like heavy, dry, and cakey if you're not careful. I wouldn't recommend it to those of you who don't need full coverage or who have dry skin, because it is very heavy, but that's kind of the best part about it. This is your reminder to make sure to blend any concealer you apply down here, because every time I rewatch my videos, I realize I forgot to blend my concealer. Now we're gonna use the Sephora Best Skin Ever Under Eye Concealer. This one's in the shade, not that it matters because they have new shades, but it's in 27P. And I got this shade because it has a peachy vibe to it, so I thought it would help with under eye circles without having to mix it with a corrector. And this concealer works the best under your eyes when you let it sit, okay? Give it maybe 30 seconds to a minute, and I am telling you, it's fabulous. I will show you. As it sits under my eyes, we're going to choose a cream bronzer and a liquid blush. So this is very easy. I'm just going to use the LYS. This is one of my favorite cream bronzers. I don't know why it has 4 stars. Yes, it's very pigmented, but that's the best part about it. It's also very creamy and blendable. I think I have the shade Harmony. So let's add that to the cart. I like the Rare Beauty one a lot. I think that if you find the LYS one too heavy, try the Rare Beauty one because it's really blendable like the LYS, but it's not as pigmented. My issue with the Rare Beauty is that the shade range could be worked on. They have extended it, but some of it's too warm, some of it's too cool. They kind of have to like choose one or keep it neutral. In terms of powder bronzer, we're going to use Haus Labs, another product that I believe was reformulated. So I have the old version. I don't know what shade I would be in the new version. But again, people are fixing things, changing things that don't need to be changed for one reason or another. I have a lot of blush options, but I think I'm going to go with something more warm tone. Of course, Rhode Pocket Blush is number 1 on this list here. I do have Rhode, but not for this look. I like to use the Rhode Pocket Blush for more natural looks. There's also the Patrick Ta. I get the hype around it. I own the Patrick Ta blushes, but I don't really use it that much. I'm gonna stick with good old Rare Beauty Soft Liquid Pinch. Something more peachy. Hope is more of a neutral pink. Ooh, I have Virtue. I actually got this in the birthday set, so we're gonna add this to our basket because I think that would be a really great color. If you watch my videos, you know I love the Haus Labs Pomelo Peach, but I'm gonna refrain because I use this all the time, so we're gonna take a break from it. Shockingly, I might do Dior. I have the old version of this. They reformulated. This whole video is just like products that I have the old version of that's being reformulated, but it's same old, same old. So, wait, where's the coral shade? It's not here. Okay, well, I'm gonna pretend to add it to my cart anyways and pretend it still exists. So let's blend this out. I'm using the Nikki LaRose N16 brush. Best brush ever. Nikki really did her thing with this brush because it blends under eye concealer like a dream. And would you look at that? Looks so good. I try not to apply concealer where I have my crease to prevent creasage. So I always go in here and out here. I can only hope and pray that the new concealer is just as good as the old concealer, but we will see. I'm just going to apply the LYS cream bronzer. As you can tell, I'm not applying it or swiping it directly on my face, so it's easier to blend and get the amount of pigment I want. I usually just go on the back of my hand, spread it out evenly, and then push it into the skin. My other suggestion as well is if you want this formula because you like it but you find it too pigmented, try to get a shade lighter. It's not a formula you want to get a shade deeper in. and you'll probably like it a lot better. Let's move on to the liquid blush. This is Virtue by Rare Beauty. Ooh, yes, it's peachy, but it's not too saturated. It's more like a muted peach. I'm actually really happy I got this in the little birthday gift set because I wouldn't have bought it on my own. That is very much an L blush for sure. This is the Haus Labs powder bronzer, the O's version, in the shade Medium Level 6. This is just gonna set that bronze color. Not like it really needs it, but I like to do the most. You have the product, you might as well use it, right? I think a normal person looks at my makeup steps and thinks to themselves, dang, that's a lot of makeup, but I buy a lot of makeup, so we're gonna use our makeup and max it to the best of our ability. That's the fun of it, you know? For blush, I'm going to do just a dab of the old Dior Coral blush just on the tops of the cheekbones to give it some brightness. You know what I forgot to add to my cart? A setting spray, specifically a melting setting spray, and you probably already know what I'm gonna do. Literally my top 2 setting sprays at Sephora, Charlotte Tilbury, adding that to our cart. I'm gonna use this to melt all of my makeup together. For longevity, the one size, I'm not gonna use that today because I don't really need my makeup to last long today. Powder, I like the fragrance free of the Huda Beauty, but this is a top tier powder, so we're going to add this to the cart. I wish the new duos were fragrance free because I would have bought them. And a setting spray that I really want is the one size melting setting spray. That's on my wish list, but I think it's sold out online. This one right here. Yeah, it says out of stock. I'm not quite sure why. It's been out of stock for a while. I'll check their website to see if they have it, and I also want to try the Denesamyrix. Let me know if you're interested in a review on any of those because I am considering buying them for content. In the meantime, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. This just melts all of the powders and creams together. We're gonna let that sit, pat out any of the glow and excess, and then add powder. Huda Beauty Easy Bake in the shade Banana Bread. Fragrance-free version. That's the only one that works on my skin. I really wish that wasn't the case because I love this formula and the smell of it, but it gives me like weird bumps and breakouts on my skin. So I'm glad she came out with the fragrance-free version because it makes a difference for sure. For lips, I'm gonna take a risk, and if it looks terrible, that's fine. We can change it. I'm using the Hourglass Candid 5 liner, and I don't have a bold lipstick from Sephora. The lip liner is this darkish brown red kind of lip liner. It is very long lasting and I do recommend it. The lipstick Wise from Rare Beauty is a little bit deeper than Kulfi, so I think I'm gonna try this out. Okay. That's not a deep color at all. It's actually kind of nude. You know what? It's not a terrible combination. I do think that it pairs well, but I'm trying to go for like vibrant right now, and this is not it. Let's try mascara. These are like nudes. There's nothing wrong with them with this look, but not right now. We might have to cheat again and use something that's not from Sephora. This is the NYX Hydrating Gloss Serum. I don't know what shade it's in, but I'll link it down below. This is more of like that deep, rich autumn burgundy color. That's not it either. We're gonna stick with the Sephora theme by using the Hourglass liner, but what I'm going for is more like the MAC lipstick that I've been using a lot, which is the Powder Kiss in the shade Turn to the Left. This is like a dark brown, comes off almost cool toned in some ways. I'm gonna mix it with Chestnut Powder Liquid Lip from MAC. That took one too many minutes, but here we are. The bold lip I was looking for. Now you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. I think I like it. I don't know. I won't be able to tell till I do the rest of my makeup, and also sometimes I like it in person, but then when I see it on camera, I realize it doesn't look good, so it's fine. We're experimenting, we're having fun. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it might look terrible, but that's kind of the point. Let's finally curl the lashes to get some mascara on our eyes. I don't like any mascara from Sephora. I think it's too expensive. I'm also a true believer that drugstore mascara is superior and K-beauty or just Asian beauty mascaras are superior because they actually hold a curl. When I say I have really difficult to curl lashes, I mean it. I've been seeing people use this mascara that I also own myself from Sephora, the Kulfi one in particular, and saying that it holds a curl and works on stick straight lashes. It doesn't work on mine. So I'm like final boss of straight lashes. You're gonna have to work really hard and be waterproof on me. Okay, so I had to play it safe. I changed out the lip combo. I couldn't help myself. I didn't really like the red tones of the lip combo that I had on with the green and the blue. It was really throwing me off. So I just went with my usual lip gloss lip liner, called it a day. And these two products are actually Sephora products, which I did add to the cart. So we are going to see the total very soon. But for the new lip combo, I used the Charlotte Tilbury Foxy Brown. You know how much I talk about this. It is almost done. Honestly, I feel like I could call it done because it's so dry right now. I don't want to waste it, but it's starting to hurt my lips as I apply it on. So I might sharpen it a little bit more, warm it up a little bit, but this was not fun to use. I probably will repurchase this at some point. I just have so many lip liners, I might force myself to wait. But that's what I used today. And I actually paired it with the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss. This is in the shade Maple Sugar. It has been on my wish list for a very, very long time. And I finished the Buxom lip gloss, so I decided to give this one a shot. And I have it on my lips today. It's not as pigmented as the Buxom lip cream that you guys know I love and adore, but it's still really beautiful. I like the formula, I like the smell, and I would recommend it. But now that my makeup is done, let's figure out how much this is all gonna cost if I were to rebuy everything. I have 17 items in this cart. I'm going to guess before I look, $600. I feel like that's how much in total everything's gonna cost. Oh, $621. So I was close, but that is kind of insane. I was hoping that I was overshooting it, but I undershot it, which is kind of insane that everything I put on my face today is worth $621. Maybe more because I might have forgotten a thing or two, but that is a lot of money. So I would not spend that money all at once at a Sephora sale, but apparently I did today by using the stuff that I own. Technically I spent $0, but I think it's a good reminder of the value of the products that you already own. So hopefully you had a good time doing this little exercise with me. It could also help you kind of decide, you know, what's missing in your collection, what you want more of. If you missed my previous videos in the makeup refresh series, I will link it down below in a playlist. And before you go, I would love if you left a comment about any products that you are considering during the Sephora sale if you choose to shop the Sephora sale. If there are enough comments, I may or may not film a video talking you into or talking you out of the purchase. As always, thank you all so much for the continuous love and support, especially those of you who watch every single video. I see you and I appreciate it. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!